Warning, we are about to spoil Metropolis from 1927. If you haven't seen the film and plan on watching it, then click away now. Or if you've already seen it, nor you just don't care, then please, stick around.
Oh, I love being rich in the upper class.
You're my brother. You're my brother. We're all brothers and we exist.
She's so beautiful, but poor. Should I care about poor people?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Roulette. And we are back today on the... Hold on.
Director wheel.
Yes, the director wheel. And today we got one that I had seen and Justin had not.
It's true. You're used to doing that because we did movie month for next year.
I kind of am, yeah. So that's in the bag. And man, is this our first silent feature on the show?
Yes, this is the first silent film we have covered.
Interesting. Oh, how interesting. Yes, surprisingly. And yeah, should we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's cover Fritz Lang again.
Yes, and it is time for what's considered in one of his quintessential movies, Metropolis.
That silence is good, and I'm not rushing it because I have an hour before I have to be at work.
Silence is golden, and yes. So, yeah, Metropolis. So, this movie came out in the 20s, 1927 to be exact, and it was a huge-scale, lavish production for the time. And Fritz Lang, visionary director and German expressionist, it was his brainchild, and I forget him and his, I forget if it was girlfriend or his wife at the time, like, spent a bunch of time writing the movie. And then, yeah, they, what was I going to say? I had words, but they have failed.
You were going so well.
I was doing phenomenal, I know. But, yeah, came out in 27, and then was subsequently tortured and cut up and lost for the longest time period.
But now you can't, well, I'm assuming go into it much more after the summary.
Yeah.
But there is now a complete version from Kino.
Yep, Kino Lorber.
And last time I checked, someone uploaded it for free on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch it, you can.
Yeah, there you go. It is available. So, but yeah, we'll get into the more technical specifications after. Let us hear what this visionary silent epic is about.
Yeah, I'm sure this will be a very long explanation and not quick because reasons. But we open in the futuristic city of Metropolis. Pretty sure it's called... Wait, do they ever call it Metropolis?
Yes, they do.
We're back.
I don't know how.
Editing is weird.
Okay, so it froze after that. So even if that part is lost, we are still recording. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, yeah, but I was saying, yes, they do call it Metropolis because on one of the cards they give him, his address is listed as, like, this street in Metropolis.
Which, everyone is living in one city. I would just like to note, you wouldn't really have to address that, I think.
Yeah.
But yes, we are in Metropolis, and we see people working, and they're working in big, over-the-top machines, but also we see the high life, where people put on makeup like they're in the middle of a Bugs Bunny cartoon and need to instantly put on all of their makeup all at once.
Yep, just have servants on hand for that.
I still can't get over that, of just like the one woman who just goes, boom, and a big dust cloud appears.
Yes, exactly. Just like this almost cartoonishly big cloud of dust all across her face, and then it cuts. It's like, dang.
But we eventually get to Fredder, who who is in this lavish garden party, but then the big doors at the end of the garden open up and a bunch of children led by a woman come in. Her name will be Maria. We'll find out later. And she's like, look at your brothers. And this will now cause Fryer to realize, oh, right, there's poor people in this city. But some of them can be hot, so I guess I should go check out to make sure, like, they're doing okay,
Oh,
right?
shoot, yeah.
She's kind of escorted out with the kids, and then Fryer goes to look for her. He was living in the upper part of the city, but now he goes down below where the workers are. He even sees a guy, like, pass out from exhaustion and decides, hey, let's switch lives. No, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Because he does go to see his dad who made the city in the first place, and the machine that is running the city, which is what we keep seeing the workers working on. And he's like, Dad, could we be, like, nice to... Oh, fucking God. I'm annoyed with myself because I'm realizing parts I forgot and I keep moving back.
You're good.
Sorry, I don't have notes on this one. Okay, let me give a restart. Freder leaves to go find Maria. He goes into the working part and he sees people working on this big machine. Honestly, if you've seen any montage on YouTube that goes from like old silent era to modern day and showing everything, it probably shows this big ass machine.
Yep.
But the machine, something fails in the machine, a big explosion happens and it knocks Freder back, and he has a vision of the machine being a big mouth and the workers jumping in and going into the gears. It's not as gory as I'm describing it because it's 1927.
Yeah, you just kind of see the gears spinning and then they just walk out, like walk under it or whatever.
Yeah. So after seeing this, he goes to see his dad and is like, hey, Dad, what if there was like a big machine explosion, a lot of people got hurt. He's like, hold on 1 second. Advisor? Yeah? Why didn't you tell me about this? I didn't know about... Whatever. Sorry, son, what were you going on about? Well, maybe we should be nice to the poor... Sir, on the bodies of a recent accident, we found these. Sorry, son, one more. Advisor, why didn't you tell me about these plans for a rebellion or maps or whatever these are? I didn't know of them? Interesting, you're fired. However, being fired from a high position means you will have to go be with the poor people. Freder tries to claim this is very unfair. As far as, like, shut up. Josephat is his name, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Josephat.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
I think Josephette, like Boba Fett, like Josephette.
Oh, I had to remember Star Wars.
Yeah.
The son is basically told, yeah, shut up. Don't care about the poor people. Just shut up, go away. Freder, however, follows the man who got fired, who was about to go kill himself on the stairs because death was better than being forced to work in the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wait. How about you just go back to my apartment? We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Or I think
I'm gonna go check on the poor people.
Yeah, and something I picked up, I think it was implied to be Josephat's apartment, because like the little like address thing they give him, it has Josephat's name on it. So I think that he said the way to his apartment, he was going to meet him at his apartment.
Oh wait, what? Shit, I'm confusing if Josephat's the man who got fired.
He is.
He is. Okay, I was wrong about the dad's name.
Oh, okay, yeah, the dad's... Yeah, that's not the dad.
Yeah, Josephat goes back to his apartment, not going to kill himself, and Frere goes back to the working land. Now we get back to where what I said happens right after beginning, which didn't.
Yeah. Joe Fredersen was Metropolis, J-O-H, Joe, his dad.
I hate that's how that's how it's spelled.
Thank the Germans.
So I have only my family to blame.
Pretty much.
My brothers.
Shut up.
Yeah, Frere goes back to work land, and he sees someone pass out on a machine, catches the guy, he's like, hey, what if we swap lives for a bit? Here, you can take my clothes, you can take my money, you can go live the high life for a bit, and I'll do your job, just see how it is. Dude's like, hell yeah. Quickly swaps Freder. Oh, also his dad sent the Thin Man to watch over him to make
Yep.
sure he doesn't do anything fucking stupid. Spoilers, the Thin Man's really bad at his job. The Freder does the job for a bit while the guy heads back to his apartment. Honestly, I'll just cut off this storyline here because it goes on for a little bit, but then the guy kind of disappears.
Yeah.
Dude makes it to Freder's apartment, but Thin Man's there is like, hey, how about you just act like none of this happened and I won't get you in trouble? Yeah, fair enough. Frere gets very tired because the work is, tasking and hard, but then follows a bunch of people to the secret meeting area where Maria is, and she's calling for revolution, but a peaceful one. She isn't calling for like a massive overthrow, but hey, maybe let's think for a second that we deserve better rights than this.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, yeah, it's a good idea. However, we need to go back to Joe and his head scientist, his vice president. I don't know what this guy is in relation to the company, but he lives in the room right next door to his office. Okay, is it Rotwang?
No, Ro Twang.
Ro Twang, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like Rotwang.
So, brief little thing. The reason I know how to pronounce that is because there was like an old iOS game that like paid homage to it, and it's weird because like it was a Resident Evil style game, but like the main villain's name was Ro Twang, so sometimes like the main character boy would yell Ro Twang.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But Joe's talking to Rotwang, and Rotwang's like, my invention, it's almost complete. What's your invention? I'm making your wife! Joe's wife died giving birth to Freder, and, Mrs. his wife. However, I want an easier thing to say than Rotwang.
I know, right?
I'm just gonna call him Ro. Why not?
There you go.
Ro and Joe.
Ro and Joe.
Ro also loved his wife, but the wife decided to, go marry the super rich guy. Fair.
Yeah. And
also, not every German expressionist villain.
Yeah. He literally does look like every single German expressionist villain. It's kind of great.
But Ro has made a robot body, and soon it will come to life, and his wife will be back. Well, however, Ro is going to keep her, and he could keep his son, because that's still a part of her. It's like, you lost her once, my turn now. However, Joe shows him the map that they got from the two workers who got hurt in the big explosion. And he's like, oh, yeah, I probably know where this goes. Follow me into my many stairs and tunnels. So they make it to the big speech that Maria's giving as well. Instead of stopping it right there, Joe gets the idea of, hey, let's give the robot her face, and then they'll lead a fake well, they can just completely destroy her credibility and will throw off the revolution. However, Ro doesn't really like Joe, so he's like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And as soon as Joe leaves, he's like, okay, we're going to do that plan, but let's make it an evil revolution, one with violence, so that way all of this man's fortune falls to ruin. Freder just kind of gets lost for a good bit.
Yeah.
Maria's kid is kidnapped, has her face put on the robot. The robot goes back down and gives a big speech, but says, yo, we should all just rise up and kill him. We should destroy the heart of the machine, go up there and just win. And all the workers who have been hearing nothing but peace talks for assumably weeks at this point go, yeah!
Fuck it, revolution, there's enough of us.
Yeah, fuck it, let's overthrow the place. And so they do. It feels like, they all live in a town that's under the sea as well, where they might have, like, little versions of themselves,
They might have, children and wives.
That's who cares?
Yeah. Revolution!
They take the elevator. Yeah, revolution! Take the elevators, they go up. They start tearing apart the machine. Also, the Robo version of Maria did kind of did a party for the rich people, like just did a sexy dance for the time.
Yeah, and that was after the workers' speech, I think. So they were like, "Yeah, we've won! Party! Haha! Screw the poor people! Woo!"
No, the party happens first, and Freder goes into the fun dream sequence.
Oh, right. And he hallucinates.
Then she does the revolution, goes back up, and then goes to the party.
And then does the sexy dance, goes to party. Yeah.
Party. Yeah, Frere saw the dance, also saw her talking to his dad, which just breaks his brain for some reason. I guess because he was against the poor people, so now in his mind it's like either A, he's worked around him, or B, she's going to betray everyone.
Yeah.
He really doesn't care. But they destroy the machine. Hooray! Awesome! Now the elevators are crashing and the undersea is flooding and wait, we have kids.
Oh,
all our kids are going to die. Freder is down in the sea and... No, wait. Freder is down there, but he doesn't start helping yet. The sea is starting to flood, though. The actual Maria escapes Rose's little prison, finds herself in the underground, starts trying to save the kids. Freder makes his way down there, helps get the kids out as well. Up above, the poor people are now looking for Maria, claiming she's a witch, and, she caused all this, even though they did it.
Yeah. Man, it'd really suck if the real Maria was running around.
Oh, fuck, they see the real Maria after she gets back to the surface saving the kids. They start chasing her. Luckily, evil Maria is at a wild rich people party, but since the power has gone out at this point, they are partying in the street, cross paths with the angry mob, and they just happen to grab the right Maria.
Yeah, it's pretty much by complete coincidence that they get the right Maria.
They grab the right Maria, they put her on a stake and burn her. The real Maria gets grabbed by Ro and what was his plan?
I don't know, especially with everybody watching.
He takes her hostage. Freder runs up on the roof. They have a fight. Ro falls off the roof to his death. His dad has also shown up at this point because he realized, like, oh shit, the machine's broken. And even the Thin Man's like, well, first Joe is worried about his son not knowing where he is. And then the Thin Man's like, you know who else is going to worry about their sons? All the poor people who are about to lose their kids.
Yeah.
That's not going to go great for you. Also, this whole time there's been a talk of like a prophecy of someone bringing in the apocalypse of all the seven sins, and that was evil Maria. But there will be a great mediator who is Freder, who makes his dad make a deal with like basically the boss of the poor people, and he's going to work as a mediary so that way everyone has better working conditions and a happier life.
Yeah. Because
and then the movie ends.
Yes, and they finally show that the mediator between the head and the hands is the heart. And that was Metropolis.
Metropolis.
Yes. So yeah, definitely a movie that's really impressive for the time period. But yeah, where should we even start with this one?
I'll get a bit of negative out of the way.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be, too fucking strong on this movie. It's a silent film from 1927.
Yeah.
Like comparing it to movies now is very unfair.
Yeah, we're well aware of that.
But I will say the plot, well, the thing in silent films is since you can't talk, you do kind of need bigger expressions, bigger scenes to convey things across. And that doesn't always work here.
Yeah.
Like Rotwang's whole thing, he's that big character. He's the one you see in all German expressionists, so you understand what he's doing. Everything he does is a big action.
Yes.
But everyone else is dressed very normally, which doesn't help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is interesting, and there are some over the top characters like him. The Thin Man has this big ass hat, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's just you're true. Like the motivations, and I think that's true for just the story in general. Like the themes and motivations are very surface level because of the limitations of the time period.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, that whole,
also,
well, no, I was just gonna say because just expanding on what you were talking about earlier, just a pantomime was a very big thing in like silent films because it's very theatrical. You have to like really emote to get your point across, and the way he does the intertitles, we'll get to too, is okay, but
yeah, I would say another weakness, and we talked about this right after the movie. The soundtrack doesn't do anything.
yeah, and we did listen to the original, 20s German score that was written. And yeah, it is just kind of like background music a lot. There are a couple of weird stings, but yeah, like it's overall just orchestral background music. It's nothing like out of the ordinary or like big and triumphant or anything like that.
Yeah, it needed. Personally, I like it more when the soundtrack in silent films is Mickey Mousing, is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Ba- Basically, the music goes to people's actions. You can see it a lot in Charlie Chaplin's work. Like if he's pulling out a locked door, every time he pulls, it goes ba-doom, ba-doom type deal.
Yeah, or it's like someone's walking around, it's like ba 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 or something like that.
Yeah, the soundtrack didn't really feel involved. It just most of the time was background noise, as you said.
Yeah.
And I do admit, with when it comes to the plot and stuff, I find it hard to put myself in the mindset of like ignoring other movies I've seen in a sense.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky to do, and it's definitely a movie that needs to be viewed with like the context of the time period, and like we do our best, but it still kind of creeps up, you know.
Yeah, like I remember, I forget what the podcast was called, but they were talking about Night of the Living Dead, and one of the hosts was like, for this viewing, I made sure to go back and imagine that I've never seen a zombie movie because Night of the Living Dead is considered one of the first.
Yeah, there were other movies with like zombie in the title, like White Zombie, but like when it came to modern day, what we think of as zombies, George Romero was the first.
Yeah, and I just do not have that skill, and it does. And I feel it would be helpful for a movie like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know I can a little bit, but yeah, it is a little hard to do, especially like I get it though.
Yeah,
But
I still respect the movie.
yeah.
The effects and stuff done in it are insanely impressive.
Oh my goodness, yeah. They because it's like it's one of those things where like the effects were so seamless at the time that like in some shots you can't tell where like the matte paintings begin and where like the actual like camera begins.
Yeah, where the real footage begins and the matte painting ends, or the model ends.
And about the effects, this one, besides the miniatures of the city and like he pioneered cameras on a swing as well, it was called the Schuften process. And basically it's where you put a glass plate at a 45-degree angle between the cameras and the miniatures, outlining the area. And it was basically like a forced perspective type thing that they did when people were like walking on the bridges and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was looking into the effects too. Some of them were also just a mirror, so the model was behind it, but they cut out a chunk of it, and that would be the actual back. That would be where the actual people are.
Yep. So, and it's
Or
amazing. Sorry, you were gonna say.
yeah, or near the end of the movie, Joe uses a video phone, and we were wondering how it was done.
Yeah.
What they did was record both the actors, because we cut between both ends of the call. They record the actors, and then they did a rear projection on the screen for what the phone screen was supposed to be, so that way the actor could actually see the footage.
Yeah, so that was actually there. It's really impressive. Like this movie called a couple of things. It called stock tickers, which was interesting, except they were like going down instead of sideways like they do. And it like predicted video calls, which is fucking crazy. Like imagine seeing that in 1927.
Yeah, just like what?
Like phones.
What crazy future is this?
Yeah, like phones had barely been invented at that time.
Yeah, I don't think they were barely invented. I'm pretty sure the phone was much earlier.
I thought it was like late 1800s. Alexander Graham Bell.
1876.
Oh, okay. So it was about a good 50 years. All right.
Yeah, it's still been around for 50 years.
Cool. Anyway.
But we still had like operators and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Having a phone that directly went to someone, even just that was insane for the time.
Yeah, exactly. And the effects with like the flying cars and stuff going by, it's like, man, just the creativity that he had in doing this. And apparently the film cost a little over $5 million at the time, which is a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what the inflation calculator would bring that out to.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, expensive epic. But yeah, I love the cinematography, and it just from a technical perspective, really impressive. I mean, it's Fritz Lang. He was a master of his craft, and by God, he'll let you know it. Because in some scenes, I think you pointed out, it did feel like he was just showing off what he could do.
Oh yeah, like the 2 dream sequences. Those are just showing off.
Oh yeah, because how to achieve that with actual film at the time, cutting it and pasting it and all that was like, oh my God.
Yeah, seriously thinking about you, if you're going to watch older movies, I highly suggest you look up how to edit a movie with film.
Yeah. Look up like a
because that makes a lot of things just insane.
Yeah, and not just like, editing decks like we had in the 60s and 70s. This was the 20s. So it was still just scissors and tape. Like
yeah, scissors, tape, and a lot of overlaying of different negatives.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, so good. Can't praise that enough. But yeah, I mean, besides technical and soundtrack, there's not really much else to talk about because, dialogue's a little tricky because it's a silent film.
I am happy at least this version had title cards that were in English instead of a title card in German that we had to read subtitles at the bottom.
Yeah, and I get that some silent films do that because some did have intricate intertitles and they wanted to be accurate to it, but at the same time, it's like if you're going to just have text, just cut out the original text, and like if you want to put in some effort, just cut out the original text and put English in there. Like
yeah, they're not complicated backgrounds. You could easily take this into modern technology, scrub it off, and then do a similar font style in whatever language you want.
Exactly. It's it's a little silly to have being reading subtitles in a fucking silent film.
It really is. I will also say, just lightly on the editing, and also because I can talk about the background because I made it before we're recording.
Yes.
The eyeball shot alone is just... the idea of how to fucking edit that on real film is insane because they probably needed to overlay a good, I want to say maybe 6 or 10 negatives to get all of those eyeballs.
Yeah. Oh, at least. And what they did, just so they didn't destroy the original negative, was a fun fact. They actually duplicated the film, and then you edited that. And then once that was fully edited, you would go back and edit the original negative. But for a shot that complex, I'm wondering if he did just do it on the original negative, because like the idea of doing that twice is mind-boggling.
Oh my God, it would take so much time.
Yeah. I think that's just...
and that's assuming you expose it all properly.
Yup. I was going to say, and that's besides the drawbacks of shooting on film itself, where you did have to counter exposure. You couldn't preview it really.
Yeah.
But yeah. What else was I going to say?
Should we talk about how this movie almost was...
Yeah.
How this movie was almost lost?
Let's get to that, because it's a wild story. Yeah, and because when it premiered in Germany, I was reading a little bit about it. Like there were some drawbacks, but despite its classic status nowadays, like people said it was like the pacing was weird and stuff like that. But they cut it down, and I forget if it was an American distributor or a different distributor, but they ended up cutting it down majorly, and not just cutting it down, like changing the order of entire scenes and basically like rearranging the movie. And for years that truncated version was all that existed, and there were attempts to restore it. I think in 2001 there was a really precise one that was tried to carry out, where all the missing scenes, they just put like intertitle, or they put like still photos or whatever of what was going to be. And for the longest time, it was considered one of cinema's lost treasures. You know, like up there with the Cabinet of Doc. Well, not that. Well, no, not that one. It was. What was the silent film?
Werewolf After Midnight.
No, it wasn't that. It
No?
was London After Midnight.
Damn. Okay. I knew it was something after midnight.
Yeah, I think you confuse it with American Werewolf in London, but
I think London After Midnight is still a werewolf movie.
I don't think it is. It's if you I don't know, might be. Who cares? But besides the point.
We don't have time.
We don't have time. Yeah, so basically for the longest time it was considered just, oh, well, fuck it, it's all we have. And then in the mid 2000s there was a collector in Argentina, and I forget how they said it, but like I know the curator was always surprised at how long it was. And it turns out that this was in fact Long's original long lost 2.5 hour version of it. And so they for a while there, I remember like they were talking about it, and they had to get rights actually to go down to Argentina and physically check it out, because I guess it was in the middle of nowhere. But they looked at it, and it sure enough was a cut of the original print, albeit it was a 16 millimeter reduction print made for safety. So it was like a copy of the original negative. But not only was it 16 millimeter, it was also misframed, because 16 millimeter film is smaller. It doesn't have the same aperture that 35 millimeter silent film did. So it cut off the entire top and part of the left-hand side. But fortunately they didn't move it around or anything. It was just, that was what they had cut out. So it's really weird. So when they fully restored it, they took the negative footage that was already restored and basically combined it with the Argentina print. And it is a little jarring seeing the change in resolution and aspect ratio, but you do kind of get used to it as the film goes along.
Yeah, it's a bit weird at first, but luckily, I'm not sure if you'll get to this or you're waiting on it, but a lot of the scenes cut were of the Thin Man.
Yeah, I wasn't yet, but yeah, you're good. Let's move this along.
I just want to bring it up because one reason you get kind of used to it is that becomes a bit of a motif with him, so it works in a way.
Exactly. Yeah, so like all the low quality footage is of him, or a lot of it is. Like they literally cut out his entire subplot and the plot of the people mistaking Maria for false Maria, and they just capture Maria, I guess. So
which there's some things we were, even as we were watching, we were like, yeah, I get why this was cut for time.
Yeah, because there's one shot of her like slowly pulling a lever, like really getting it, and then she gets it. But in the footage, you could tell it just cuts to her pulling it. And there was that crowd shot, which was like one of the few shots where I was like, what the fuck was the point of that, actually?
Look, there's a crowd. Yep. Can we get back to the fight that's going on?
Exactly. It was a weird choice, but yeah, like looking at almost all the excised footage, like even you were like thinking about it, it's like this movie would make no goddamn sense, would it?
Yeah, there was so much of it that was just like, where there would be so many plot lines that just go nowhere or mean nothing.
Yeah.
Because you cut out the main point of them.
Exactly. And it's like not just a little bit was cut out. This was a full half hour of footage that was cut out.
Thank God they found it.
Yeah.
There is still 2 scenes missing. Yeah,
there's one scene where he has like a vision of the priest, although we do see the priest in a later scene. But the other one was a key fight scene where she escapes from the prison, where I think the father fights Rotwang, and the print was apparently so heavily damaged and filled with scratches that they just couldn't do anything with it. Sadly.
But you're forgetting the most plot important one.
Which one?
A woman showing her titties, possibly.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's like a censor cut in the Argentine print, where screen just goes blank for a second, and you cut to him going, whoa! And reportedly, like she apparently flashed her titties in the original cut. And this is scene 2 because in the next shot you see of her, she's like pulling her dress up her shoulder. So it was just, I guess, trying to introduce him to the lavishness of the high life.
The lavishness of the high life is driving on the highway and flashing your tits, apparently.
Apparently, I don't know. But yeah, we are very, very lucky. It's one of the like greatest rescue stories in film that like it exists at all, because a huge amount of silent films, something like 70% of them, don't exist anymore.
Jeez.
Yeah, and fun fact, and all you film buffs have probably heard this one, but in 1939's Gone with the Wind, in the famous Alabama burning scene, they just lit up canisters of nitrate film stocks of silent films.
Wow, thanks
Yep.
guys.
So anytime you watch that scene, remember that's a bunch of silent films just going up in flames because nitrate film stock was highly flammable.
Didn't BBC also use like old Doctor Who film stock
Yeah,
to for
they.
fires and some things?
Yep, they took the original like 35 millimeter negatives of Doctor Who and just reused them, just wrote over the tape, because they didn't know how big of a phenomenon it'd be.
Mm.
But yeah, like so yeah, and like there are like stories of films being restored, but it's really rare and really hard to come by, just because it was made so early in film history. That's just what we have, is what we have, basically.
Makes sense.
Yep. But yeah, and then I think he would make Fritz Lang like two more silent films before he actually finally made his foray into sound film with M.
Which is also on the director's wheel.
Yes, so that'll be an interesting one to get to. But yeah, just there was something else I was gonna say, but I honestly forget it now.
Darn.
But yeah, and fun fact. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention the machine mensch, did we? Or how that was translated.
Oh, right, we did.
Which is just unintentionally hilarious, because the false Maria was originally called machine mensch, which means like machine being or something, but it literally translates out to machine man. So whenever she's on the screen, they refer to her as the machine man.
Like this robot with very, you can either take it as silly because it clearly has a feminine figure, or progressive
Yep.
because the robot is trans.
Exactly. And apparently that suit was very uncomfortable for the actress to wear.
To be, I said this to you as well, what you told me. It's like, to be fair, we didn't really get prosthetic suits down until maybe the 60s, probably the 70s.
Yeah, like we still had them, and we still had like prosthetic makeup effects, but like it was like nigh impossible to move and breathe naturally through them. Like we finally got it down pat, probably as late as the 60s.
Yeah, like full body suits sucked. You can look up a lot of Godzilla behind the scenes on horrible stuff that happened thanks to that suit.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like, and I know this is later, but because it was low budget in Evil Dead and Sam Raimi, they had to like literally like take out like cups of sweat just pouring from the suit.
Not cups, buckets.
Buckets, yeah. And I mean, that was what it was like back then, man.
Just sucked.
Yeah. But yeah,
And that's also with old film lights, which are just
yeah.
basically construction lights. Very hot, very bright.
Yes, because film had such a long exposure time at the time. Actors basically had to wear clown makeup just in order for their faces to show up on film stocks like that.
Yeah, to get like proper shading and stuff to show depth to their face.
Exactly. It was just.
Hey, it's editing Justin. So during this episode, we now record where Cameron has his own audio, I have my audio, and so that way if there's any glitching over Discord, we can just, edit around it, make it sound nice, whatever. Because usually it's only me that gets cut off. But Audacity decided to be a pain in the ass and just full-on froze during sections, and then we completely lost the audio there. Now, this hasn't been a problem for most of the episode. You probably haven't even really noticed, because I've been able to edit around it, or the part would have been cut anyway because we got distracted with something, whatever. But here, in the final stretch before the wheel spin, it just fucks up so much. There is no way I can, consciously edit this, because me and Cameron are both talking, so if I edit it, it would just be me talking to myself, which I currently am, but that's besides the point. So, basically, we're going to cut to the ending here. We covered a bunch of stuff. And this is going to be the cut down version. But Cameron mentions the fun fact that for the woman in the robot suit, she starts off sitting in a chair, and due to how cumbersome the outfit was, they needed someone behind the chair to push them up so they could actually stand. We talked about how when the machine explodes, the people falling for it, we were hoping we're okay, because in 1920s, that is 100% the time of it looks dangerous, because it probably was. And with final thoughts on the movie, for a silent film, it holds up pretty well. Even for 2.5 hours, it flies by. The pacing is pretty great. All around, a movie that's pretty worth checking out, even if it's just for the history aspect of it. We also get a conversation about the Fritz Lang and the Big Heat, so we'll probably cut back to that and then the wheel spin. Again, sorry for this lazier version and also not as great audio. I am editing this at like 9 o'clock on Thursday night, and the episode comes out tomorrow. So, yeah, sorry about that. Technical issues that just could not be helped.
Let me bring that up real quick. Big Heat, I know we constantly, anytime we bring it up, we shit talk it. But seriously, after now seeing through 3 Fritz Lang movies, thinking about that movie, if you showed me it now without telling me it was Fritz Lang, I would have never fucking guessed, because it doesn't feel like any of his other films.
It is nothing like his usual style. It's the most like by the numbers, basic noir film style ever.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, is it time finally?
It is time, but I have to say a things.
Say it.
Okay, so we are going to spin the wheel. It is, we are done with our director's wheel for right now, because we've done 4. It just took us 3 years. But we're back on the sellout wheel, or the series wheel, whatever you want to call it. It has a bunch of movie series on it. When we land on it, we will go on to whatever movie we have next in that series. Mission Impossible is still off the wheel, because when we were last here, we finished Fallout, and that was all that was out with Mission Impossible. Probably after this next 4, it will be added back to the wheel, so we can cover Mission Impossible 7, 8.
Yep.
But you're not going to see the series wheel, but you are going to see a movie from the series wheel. We're still posting what was going to be the Halloween episode, even though we had to re-record it. It's Scream. So even if this lands on Scream, that means we'll cover Scream 2. And you may be like, well, you didn't spin a wheel. Yes, we didn't. Because we've spun this thing like 30 times, and there's still 2 series on it we haven't touched.
Yeah.
So we're cheating.
Sorry.
Then after Scream, we're going to have the old movie month. And then we will... Well, there is one bit in movie month that will be Modern Us. There's also the 200th episode that will happen during quote-unquote movie month. And then we'll be back to just brand new episodes.
Yes. So
brand new episodes that will start with... Let us...
Spin.
God fucking damn it.
What we land on?
We're doing Ocean's 13.
Oh, shit.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody.
We don't still have 23 Bond movies to get through. We don't have Lupin to get through and a cool new background by an artist named Moose.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that. We haven't touched... It's not like we haven't touched Alien. No, let's get back to fucking Oceans.
Well, at least it's considered one of the last good ones, because after that was Ocean's 8.
Yeah, Ocean's 8. But hey, that also means we're almost done with it, and we'll be off the wheel.
Thank God.
But yeah, so in October, we will be back with Ocean's 13.
Hooray! Stay tuned for that, everybody.
Bye!
Ah!